name is Thando Maisela. I'm a second generation entrepreneur, and my entrepreneurship journey has grown and evolved as I have grown in mastery of self. The more I grow, the more I become grounded and self-assured in this journey called entrepreneurship. I am a property investor. I am the founder and owner of a company called naMaisela. So I am building a property portfolio with the aim of turning it into a property fund. I define modern day warrior women as women who bravely and courageously live their truth, even though it is not conventional or even affirmed by society's perception of what a good woman is. And those women, I believe in doing so, then basically give us permission to be wholeheartedly ourselves. And in this day and age where we're bombarded with messages from all around about what is the desired self or what should self look and be expressed as, we look to these women that affirm us by saying, this is my truth and I will live it. I think, as a woman, I don't necessarily go out of my way to define myself as a warrior woman. Life has defined that for me.
Okay, can you tell us more?
I mean that to say that when I start to tell people my life story, I don't necessarily think it's extraordinary until I look at their reflection and they are gobsmacked. In that I am living my life because I am compelled by the universe to fulfill what self desires. And self, I define self as the soul, what my soul desires. And it is not on this plane, but it is when my soul desires for me to be the best version of myself. And this has been a very long journey. And I think that I've come to understand I'm a warrior because every day I go through this process. And I love to read a quote that I think wholeheartedly personifies this. And it is by Imam Al-Ghazali. And it says, never have I dealt with anything more difficult than my own soul. And I find that I'm a warrior because I master my soul every day. And I have practices that I do to help me introspect and actually look at all parts of my soul and hold myself accountable and listen when it speaks. And when it compels me to do something, then I rise up and meet it. So I don't run from it. I've learned to embrace and enthrall myself in the process of meeting it. My biggest battle has been two parts. The first one, I can honestly say, is mastery of self. And I say mastery of self in that self-acceptance of myself and embracing wholeheartedly who I am, even though at times it may be uncomfortable, even though at times it is not the flavor of the moment, even though at times, it is just so much better to get along to go along, or, go along to get along, pardon. Uh-huh. But the biggest challenge has been to thyself be true. Even in the moments where it may seem like it's counterintuitive, but you need to trust your journey. You need to trust the path that you're on. Then the second part is in the self-acceptance. I've come to realize that when you stand for a principle, that's when you realize what a principle means to you. So I say that to say, a friend of mine years ago once told me that a principle is not a principle until it is tested. And I never understood what he meant. And after 7 years of standing for a principle, I can honestly claim it because whatever else has happened, I learned that I stood for my truth. I fought for my voice to be heard. And sometimes the fighting is not a physical fighting that you have to do on this earth by pursuing things that you need to pursue. But sometimes that fighting can also be done in the form of harnessing what we call your feminine energy or your feminine strength or the feminine warrior in you. And that is called silence. It is so easy to be strong and to be a warrior when you are physically strong. When people encounter you, they feel like they're hitting a wall because that strength is there and they feel it and you exude it. But it's another thing to harness the energy of quiet, of silence, even though everything in you may want to scream. But you decide, I'm going to use silence because in time, everything will be answered for me. I don't see myself as just a warrior in one facet. I see myself as a multifaceted warrior, simply because I am a prism. So everything that I pretty much see in my life is always in 3D or in prisms of a triangle, And the first being that I believe that I am a pathfinder. I basically go where most people dare not to go.
Yes.
I find that path so rewarding for myself, and I'm usually led there because self compels me to walk that specific path. Sometimes I may not understand it, but once the lessons and the skills and the knowledge is acquired, I then become grateful that I was compelled to walk that path. So first and foremost, I'm a pathfinder. And then the second prism part of it is I'm a signpost. So I don't just walk my path for the sake of walking it or to be compelled to walk it and have these lessons. But I believe I'm a signpost in that whatever I've learned, I share it with those who come after me. I don't believe that I'm meant to go through experiences just for myself selfishly, but it's to enlighten those who come after me. That's what a pathfinder does, is that you light the path for those who follow you. Yes. So if I can make the travel less tiresome and burdensome for people that are coming in after me, or equip them so they can go further than me, then so be it. So that is the second part of being a multifaceted warrior, is just being a signpost, being able to showcase what the different directions are available. They may not be the only one. Maybe those are the ones I've discovered, but in having my conversations and sharing my truth, we tend to find even more directions for all those that come after us. And then the third part of the prism of being a multifaceted warrior is being an affirmer. Yeah. I've learned that in my journey, as I get confronted with everything else and I sit down and I confer with self, I've learned to listen to self when it speaks. So for example, when I have strong reactions to things and people, it would come across as fear until I was taught that when my solar plexus speaks, that's usually the nerve center, what they call the body's second brain, which is the gut. So for most people, when they experience the gut, it comes through as fear. Yeah. So I learned how to channel through the fear and realize that it is basically my solar plexus, which is the wisdom chakra, that was speaking to me. So I'm an affirmer in that when I listen to other people's stories, I remind them to listen to themselves as they go about their journey and to trust when their self is speaking to them.